The sun dipped low over the rolling fields, casting golden streaks across the farmland. 17-year-old Emma Hayes walked home from school with her backpack slung over one shoulder, her boots crunching against the gravel road. To the casual eye, she looked like any other small-town farm girl, simple clothes, braided hair, a quiet presence. But there was something about Emma, something unspoken in the way she carried herself. A strength hidden beneath her gentle exterior. A strength she learned from her father, a man very few knew well. Her father wasn't just any man. He was a Navy SEAL. Emma had grown up not just on chores and hard work, but on lessons in resilience, courage, and discipline. While most kids were playing video games, she was learning how to control her breathing under stress, how to stay calm in chaos, and how to defend herself if danger ever came her way. To her, these weren't drills, they were just part of being her father's daughter. But the kids at her high school didn't see that. To them, Emma was just the farm girl. Quiet, modest, with no flashy clothes or social media presence. And bullies always targeted the ones who stood out for being different. It started small. A cruel nickname whispered in the hallway. Books knocked from her hands. Fake laughter when she answered a question in class. Emma brushed it off, just like her father taught her, don't give your power away with anger. Choose when to fight. But bullies don't stop when they think they're winning. One afternoon, at the back of the school near the parking lot, Emma found herself cornered. A group of older kids, 3 boys and a girl, stood blocking her way. They sneered at her boots, her calloused hands, the faint smell of hay clinging to her jacket. "Hey, farm girl," one of them mocked. "Where's your pitchfork? Or did you forget it in the barn?" The others laughed. Emma kept her eyes steady, her face calm, though her heart pounded. She could hear her father's voice in her mind, breathe. Stay aware. Don't let them control the situation. Move, she said quietly. But instead of moving, one boy shoved her shoulder. Another tried to trip her with his foot. The girl smirked, pulling out her phone, ready to record whatever humiliation came next. They thought she was an easy target. What they didn't know was that Emma's father had spent years preparing her for moments just like this. She didn't lash out immediately. She waited, calm, calculating. When one of the boys grabbed her backpack strap, jerking her back, Emma pivoted. With a sharp twist of her body, she broke his grip, sending him stumbling forward. The others froze for a second, surprised. Another boy lunged at her, but Emma sidestepped, hooking her boot behind his ankle. He went down hard, his breath knocked out on the pavement. The girl with the phone gasped, her hand trembling as she held the screen steady. Emma didn't throw wild punches or scream. Everything she did was precise, calm. The town of Oak Ridge was small, one of those places where everyone knew your name, where the morning started with roosters crowing, and evenings smelled of cut hay and wood smoke. Emma Hayes had lived here her whole life, helping her family tend the farm. At 17, her hands were stronger than most boys in her class, her back used to hard work, her heart steady with quiet resilience. But Emma didn't talk about her father much. To her classmates, he was just Mr. Hayes, the farmer. What they didn't know was that behind his calm smile and simple clothes, her father carried years of experience as a Navy SEAL. He had fought battles overseas, survived missions most couldn't imagine, and when he came home, he poured those lessons into his daughter, not to make her a soldier, but to make her strong, unshakable, prepared. At school, though, strength didn't come from character. It came from status, clothes, popularity, flashy cars. And Emma had none of those. Her boots were dusty, her jeans often faded from farm work, her hair tied back in simple braids. To the shallow eyes of high school bullies, she was an easy target. It started with whispers in the cafeteria. Farm girl. Cowgirl. Hayseed. She ignored it. But ignoring only fed their need for attention. Soon, her locker was smeared with insults written in marker. Her books were knocked from her hands in the hallway. At first, Emma told herself it didn't matter. She was tougher than that. But inside, it stung. Not because of the names, but because cruelty always cuts deeper when it comes from people who don't even know you. Her father noticed her silence at dinner one night. "What's wrong?" he asked. Emma hesitated, then muttered, "It's nothing. Just kids at school." Her father's gaze was steady. You don't have to fight every battle. But you never let someone take your worth away. Remember that. Things came to a breaking point one Friday after school. Emma was heading to the barn to get her bike when 4 bullies, 3 boys and 1 girl, stepped into her path. Their leader, Mark, towered over her with a cruel grin. Where you running off to, farm girl? Gotta milk the cows. The others laughed. One of the boys flicked her braid. Another snatched her backpack, dangling it just out of reach. The girl raised her phone, ready to record, as if Emma's humiliation was entertainment. Emma's heart thudded, but her face stayed calm. Her father's words echoed in her mind, stay aware. Breathe. Don't let them decide how this ends. Give it back, she said evenly. Mark shoved her shoulder. Make me. That was the moment everything shifted. Emma moved. Not with anger, not with panic, but with precision. She twisted her arm under his grip, snapping her backpack free. Then she planted her boots and swept her leg behind his, sending him stumbling back. The others stared, startled. One boy lunged, but Emma sidestepped, hooking his arm and redirecting his momentum until he landed flat.